Hey, my DRG RecTech family, thank you guys so much for taking a minute coming behind the scenes at DRG Custom Carts. I realize this video is kind of lengthy, but we're going to cover a lot of territory. Collaboration between me and an organization out of Texas called Texas Chrome Heroes. If you guys don't know who they are, man, please take a minute, Google Texas Chrome Heroes. Joey and Cassie Smith, they run a nonprofit out of Texas. It's an incredible organization, and what they're doing is absolutely phenomenal. So please take a minute and check them out. I've been getting a lot of emails, a lot of iMessages and everything about family members wanting to know when was I going to open up another pre-order for the V4 and the V4 signature cart. But for those of you that's been following me, you know that a little while ago I lost my wheel vendor. So I had no choice but to go direct with a factory to actually have my wheels built. And actually I found one and they did a phenomenal job. I ordered one so that I could prototype it out. And I'll tell you what, I absolutely loved it. So hopefully this week I'll be able to nail that down and place the order for those. Just keep in mind, these are being custom built for us. And that's gonna take, they're telling me 30 to 45 days for production. And then they have to be shipped in. So, we're looking at a couple months down the road before the V4 and the V4 signature carts will actually be, the material will actually be here for me to ship them out. Stay tuned for that. If you haven't already, like and subscribe to this video and turn on the notification bell, because I will be doing another video when that opens. So if you don't want to miss out, please do that. Subscribe and turn on that notification bell. I can't tell you how many times I do new launches and then I get contacted by family members that missed it and didn't know that it opened up. Please turn on the notification bell and subscribe. All right, so let's get to it. First off, I'm going to show you a new item that's actually going to come up for sale on my website this weekend. This one it's a little special because it started out for one purpose, but it ended up serving two purposes. So I hope you guys like it. Let's take a look at it. All right, so as everyone knows, this is the Bullseye grill. All right. An incredible little powerhouse is what this thing is. It's absolutely phenomenal what you can do on this thing. It's always been referred to as the grill you could smoke on, and it never lets you down. I mean, you can just do phenomenal hamburgers, hot dogs, steaks. I mean, anything you can do on this. In fact, I fall in line with Jody from RecTech that the best brisket I've ever made was actually on the Bullseye. For those of you that's followed me from the very beginning, you know that here at DRG, one of the biggest things I like to do is try to give back to the community. I try to build things that are going to help as much as make your life easier. There are some family members out there that actually need special help with certain things that the market's just not stepping up to the plate. I had talked to Texas Chrome Heroes about a year ago, and I'd asked them, in your group of disabled veterans that you deal with, how many of them are actually confined to a wheelchair? And come to find out, he always has a few in his group that are. And one of the grills that they always seem to use to cook on happens to be the Bullseye. So I wanted to come up with a way to make using the Bullseye easier if you were in a wheelchair in a seated position and you had no choice. One of the great things about the Bullseye that I did not know until I started doing this research is under the ADA, which is Americans with Disabilities Act, there are guidelines for grills and what falls within the category to actually assist these family members. And it just so happens the height of the Bullseye in its factory setup actually falls within those guidelines. The only issue with the Bullseye is because the hinge is in the back. When you're in a seated position and you have to open the lid, because you have to reach across the fire pot and the cooking chamber, that creates a problem from a seated wheelchair position. So I told Joey I wanted to build something that would assist them and keep them away from that hot surface and make it so much easier for them to open and close the lid. So I went to the drawing board and I come up with this incredibly simple design that works absolutely incredible, and it only takes you a couple minutes to bolt it onto your Bullseye. But it opened up a whole new world not just for our disabled veterans, but for just about everyone, because my wife absolutely loves this. So watch, this is all it is. From a normal setup, when you've got the grill put together in its factory condition, so when you open it, you have to reach across the entire cooking area to open and close the lid when you're in a seated position. I created this handle that bolts right onto the side of your Bullseye. But this gave you the ability from a seated position to open and close the lid from the side. And it gives you an extra 17 inches away from the factory handle, which you can easily open and close from a seated position in a wheelchair. That was absolutely incredible. I sent a few of these to Joey at Texas Chrome Heroes for him to actually give out to the family members that are there that are actually competing in his foundation. So I look forward to seeing his feedback on that. That's it on the standard Bullseye grill. Works absolutely incredible, gives you an easy way to open and close the lid from a seated position. But then, like I said, it wound up being twofold because it served another purpose. Let's take a look and I'll show you what I mean. All right, well, here we are. I know you guys all recognize this monster. This is the Bullseye mounted on one of my V4 signature carts. This thing is an absolute beast. Everybody that has bought this loves the height that you get to the grill grates. You know, it raised the factory Bullseye up to a more of a counter height, and everybody loved that. On the Bullseye, the hinge is in the back. So because of that, you have to reach across the entire grill to open the lid all the way. Okay, not a problem when you have it in the factory configuration. But when you step it up to the big boy and you have now raised this grate up to almost 37 inches off the ground, now when you open the lid, it's a little harder if you're average height. For me, no problem. My wife, she's average height for a female. She loves the grill, but she used to always talk about how on my cart, she had to like step to the side to open the lid. So that handle that I come up with that was actually to benefit our disabled veterans works great if you have one of these carts and you need just a little extra reach to open and close the lid and you don't want to have to reach across the fire pot. As you can see, this is the finished product bolted on here. This is what you will be purchasing. This is what I'll show you up close. This makes it extremely easy for you to open the lid, and it keeps you almost 18 inches away from the handle, and you don't have to at any time reach across the grill. It opens up a huge world for my wife. She absolutely loved it. So I needed to offer this to you guys. For anyone out there that may want a little extra reach, you can buy this, which is called the BT Extended Handle. It installs with 2 screws. It takes you less than 5 minutes to install it. Extremely simple, extremely easy, and above all, extremely inexpensive. All right? So I hope you guys like that. This is the one product that I've worked on, that I've built, that will actually go for sale on the website this weekend. So take a look at that and check them out.